himself to realize that it was now or never. He looked back over time. And our Bible tells us he was there in the beginning of the world, as I've already said. Without him, there was nothing made that was not made.
All right.
Yeah, believe it or not, he was there when Noah went through the flood. He was there when the 3 Hebrew boys was in the furnace. He was there when Daniel was in the lion's den. He was there when Jonah was in the belly of a whale. Yeah. He was there. He was there. All along he was there. And then he came in the simple flesh of man. In the New Testament, he came as a covenant, as a burnt sacrifice for us. He started out just like we did, as a child. And as a child, he went about his father's business. Why can't we be about our father's business? He taught the disciples. He lived with the disciples. He blessed the disciples. He commissioned the disciples. He gave them the ultimate commission. And then he wasn't done there. He went before the court, was drugged from judgment hall to judgment hall. He was mocked, he was spit on, he was beaten for our transgressions, by bruised for our iniquity, by his stripes we're healed. Why can't we realize today that we're living in the last day? Why can't we realize today that it's now or never? He didn't stop there. He took the beat. They took a crown of thorns and mashed it in his head. And that wasn't enough. They beat him some more. They did a tag team beating on him, y'all. Y'all need to study that. They passed the whip from one person to another. And I found out through study that each beating he took was for me. Every lick he took was for me. Every blood he shed was for me. And he did it without a mumbling word. I'm wondering today, do you realize it's now or never? If you realize it's now or never, the love you confess to have, I'm talking about Jesus because he's love. You confess to have him and he's in you. The whole worship service has been talking about love. And as we love each other, we take care of each other. We remind each other that, hey, we out the box right here. We need to get back in the box. What am I talking about? In the wheel. Ain't you tired of getting out of the wheel with God? Let me tell you something. I told my son the other day, it seems like my son not putting his business on the street, but my son, everywhere he go, they say, get out. All right. They put him in the car after he done did something wrong. They say, get out. He got the police call. The police take him around the corner and say, boy, get out. God is saying, get out. That's what you're doing when you're a sinner. I just want to talk to you. When you're a sinner and you go before God, you might as well look for him and say, get out. He don't want to see you. If you see that movie, I'm going to get you sucked. He said, do you want the stairs or do you want me to throw you? If you're going to hell, that's it. Life, you're going to heaven. But getting back to the story, they drug Christ to a hill called Golgotha. It's called a place of the skull. They hung him high. They stretched him one. They nailed him to the cross. And if that won't be enough, they took the cross and let it drop in the earth. Settled it. Just imagine someone being nailed to the cross and the weight dropping. They stretched him. And then they pierced him in the side with the and he hung his head and he died for every last one of us that is here. He said that it was finished and he gave up the ghost. And his fathers were pleased with that. But that isn't enough. They buried him in a borrowed tomb. And they placed him in a tomb, Joseph's tomb. And they put a seal on it. And they put guards in it. These folks were